What's up, you guys? Welcome back and happy new year. It is officially 2024. And for the first video of the year, we are gonna be recapping my 2023 beauty favorites. I was gonna separate this out into two different videos, kind of do a high-end and a drugstore, but I decided to just do it all in one video so you guys can have one video to reference of all of my top favorite products throughout the entire year of 2023. And I'm also gonna show you how I use all of them. In years past, I've kind of just like sat down and like talked to you about the products, but I figured this year I might as well show you how I use them too so you guys can see why I love them while I'm using them, and like I can show you guys that way and kind of do a tutorial with them all as well. So we have, like I said, a mix of high-end and drugstore products. These were just my absolute favorite staples. Many of these products were products that I pretty much use every single day in my routine that are tried and true, fabulous, and I think that you guys will love. I will list everything down below in the description box with links to where you guys can buy these products if you want to check them out. But I love to do these kind of recaps. I don't really do monthly favorites very often, and it's been quite a while since I've done a favorites video, so this is just like the best of the best. Like, these are 10 out of 10 products. So without further ado, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and click the little bell right next to the subscribe button so you're notified of all my future uploads, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're gonna start off strong with primer, and by far my favorite primer and most used primer of 2023 is the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. Y'all have heard me talk about this 7,000 times. This just gives the most beautiful glow to the skin. It also does give a little bit of a tint. Comes in, I believe, 4 different shades. I use the shade medium glow, but there are additional shades both lighter and darker than this, depending on your skin tone. But I absolutely love this. Many days when I'm wearing no makeup, I will just throw this on my skin to give me a pretty glow and a little bit of tint, but it's also a really great primer to wear underneath your foundation. You can also mix it into your foundation if you want, and it's at a drugstore price point, which is great. I absolutely love it. It's just so pretty and gives a nice little glow. Not gonna make you look greasy or like too glowy though, because sometimes the glow products can be a little too much, especially on my skin that's like acne prone and textured. I want something that's gonna give me a glow but still look flattering, and this is the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion for me. So I love this. Another product that I do want to call mention to that I used a ton this year is the Tarte Hydrating Primer. This is the base tape hydrating one. My skin is on the drier side, so especially when I was feeling extra dry, this was kind of like my go-to primer for that time. It's white like this, kind of looks like a lotion, but then blends into the skin clear and is really nice and hydrating, and is going to help your foundation to apply on super smoothly. So that was another primer that I used a lot this year that I really love. In these categories, you will see that I do have multiple favorites. Obviously, I can only use one to show you, but I will go through all of the favorites that I have. Okay, moving on, let's jump into foundation. So this is one of the categories where I have the most amount of products. I do have 3 different options, but these were my 3 most used foundations in 2023. The top one that I use the most is a product that I feel like I never really hear people talking about, but I love this. This is my go-to when I need something that's gonna make my skin look good, cover up all my imperfections, and last literally all day long, plus more. Whenever I use this foundation, my makeup still looks good at the end of the day when I'm taking it off. And this is the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. I feel like this is not a widely talked about or very popular product from Tarte. Like, everybody knows like the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and stuff like that. But I feel like this foundation is not widely talked about, but I love it. So I'm gonna show you guys how I use it and how it looks on the skin. This is one pump, and the coverage that this gives is crazy. Because something I realized too when doing this video, so many of my videos focus on trying new products for you guys and testing new releases and new things that came out, where I don't always get to show you the makeup products that I'm using every single day, where this was definitely one of them, but I feel like I didn't get to feature it enough on my channel. But it is so, so good. Blends out flawlessly. It has a matte finish to it, but it is not drying. So definitely not gonna give you any glow or luminosity. It's gonna give you that true matte finish, but it's not drying to the skin. I have dry skin, so I have to be careful when it comes to matte foundations, and this one is great. It lasts all day long. Honestly, I feel like it continues to look better as the day goes on. Wears very well and is just one of my absolute favorites, and was definitely one of my most used. The shade I use in this is medium neutral. For reference, other foundations though that I heavily used this year, both are drugstore. They're actually both L'Oreal, and that was a L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. I really like this one for when I'm looking for a more natural foundation. natural finish. I mean, this is not gonna give you a matte finish, not gonna give you a glowy finish, kind of right in between, which I would agree that this foundation is also gonna give you a natural finish. This is a L'Oreal True Match, which I also really love. This is like an oldie, but it used to not have a pump. And to be honest, I barely ever touched it when it didn't have a pump. You have to like pour it out and then it just gets messy. And it wasn't a product that I reached for when they brought it out. And I believe 2023 is when they launched it with the pump, or like towards the end of 2022. And I started to reach for this so often. Medium coverage, but buildable. Looks like your skin, but better. Also really love the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. Like I said, this one does have SPF in it, so great, especially in the summertime months if you want that additional SPF protection on top of like your skincare and SPF that you're already using. This one is a little bit more of a fuller coverage, I would say. This is definitely medium to full on its own, where this one is a more true medium, but could be built up. Both great options, both have really large shade ranges as well. I believe L'Oreal True Match has 50 shades in it, which for the drugstore is incredible. We don't see that all that often in the drugstore, so really love that. So can't go wrong with either one of these, and both at drugstore price points. So they were both definitely favorites of mine as well this past year. All right, up next, let's move on to concealers. Now this is actually the category where I have the most options. I just could not pick between these four. These are like my four favorite concealers of all time. Every other category, as we actually move on, I have only like 1 to 2 products that are my favorite in them, but concealers, I just really couldn't pick in between these. So we'll go through all of them. Up first, I have the OG Tarte Shape Tape. This one is a little bit of a light shade, so give me a second. Okay, I grabbed it in a bit of a darker shade because I'm gonna use this to cover up like some blemishes or extra redness that I have going on. This OG favorite, you guys know. Covers everything, matte finish, lasts really well, very, very full coverage. So definitely my go-to when I'm covering up like blemishes or anything that needs additional coverage after my foundation. I also do use this on my under eyes as well. Works really great for that too. Some people find it a bit drying for their under eyes. For me, it works fine. It's never bothered me on my under eyes, but I'm gonna show you some other options as well that are a bit more hydrating for the under eye area. But when it comes to like blemishes, redness, anywhere I need additional coverage, this is always my go-to. If you want something that's also full coverage, but a little bit more hydrating to the under eyes, I would highly recommend the Hourglass Vanish. I have like barely anything left in here. I'm like scraping it out of here, but this is really, really good. Another OG favorite. Very good coverage on this, but is a bit more hydrating than Shape Tape is. So if you like the coverage of Shape Tape, but you want something that's not going to be super matte underneath the eyes, I think that you would really like the Hourglass Vanish. This is a great, great concealer and has been a favorite of mine for years, and definitely one that I used heavily. And the coverage and finish on it is just so good. Two other favorites that I have to mention. One is the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This would be great if you're looking for something that's a little bit more medium coverage and brightening. This is very good. Hydrating to the under eyes, gives a great medium coverage, is brightening, and lasts all day. So I absolutely love this. And then last but certainly not least, this came out towards the end of 2023, but I wanted to definitely give it an honorable mention. This is the Kokie Double Time Full Cover Concealer. Drugstore price point, matte, super full coverage. Honestly, the best Shape Tape dupe that I have tried. It can be difficult to find. They have Kokie at some Rite Aids. They do have it on Amazon, and they do have their own website. And this is a very good concealer. Came out towards the end of 2023, so I wouldn't say that it was an all year 2023 favorite, obviously, but wanted to mention it because it truly is so good and has been my drugstore go-to since it's come out. Okay, when it comes to contours, I have two favorites. You cannot go wrong with either one of these. These were definitely my most used. Number one is the Rare Beauty Bronzer Stick. I have it in the shade Happy Soul. This is super creamy, blends out like a dream. It's so good. You know what? I'll use this on one side to show you guys how this one blends out. And then my other favorite, this is more at a drugstore price point. This is the ColourPop Bronze Stick. Very, very similar product. I have this one in a bit of a deeper shade. This is Moonstone Beach, but also blends out super well, creamy, pigmented, and you truly cannot go wrong with either one of these. I'll go in and blend them out and show you guys, but they sculpt and chisel the face so good. Also, the colors on both of them are nice because they're kind of like both a contour and a bronzer. They're not super, super cool toned, but they're not super warm toned either. A little more neutral. That's the Rare Beauty side blended out. The brush that I always use to blend in my cream products, this is the number 7 brush from IT Cosmetics. It's so good. It blends everything like a dream. And that paired with either one of those contours, you truly cannot go wrong. They are both so, so good and definitely my most widely used. And I like that they're in stick form so you can kind of get in precisely exactly where you want to contour. You can use them on your nose too, basically any area that needs contouring. For liquid blush, my most used was the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light one in the shade Pinkgasm. This is just absolutely stunning. It's like a corally pink kind of shade and just looks so pretty with any makeup look, whether you're doing just like an easy everyday look or you're doing something full glam all out, this is just so pretty. Gives like a pinky flush to the cheeks, a little bit of a glow, and is just beyond flattering. I absolutely love this. I've said this before, but I feel like so many of Charlotte Tilbury's products have been duped, and this one I have not yet been able to find a true drugstore dupe for. It's just so pretty and I love it. Okay, up next for powder, I only have one favorite because this was by far my most used, and it is this Laura Mercier pink powder. This is so hard to find for whatever reason. It is their translucent loose setting powder tone up version in the shade Rose. They have another powder that's in the shade Cosmic Rose, which is not the same powder. Unfortunately, it's difficult to find. I don't know why, because it's so good. I know they have it on Sephora's website, but a lot of times it's sold out. But this truly is the best powder. It's basically their translucent loose setting powder with like a little bit of a pink tint to it. And it sets everything in place, blurs and brightens, and like doesn't dry out your skin. I just love this, and it was by far my most used powder in 2023. It is so good. So if you see this powder in stock, would highly recommend getting it because it is truly the best. I love it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in and we'll start on the eyes. All right, up next we have the brows. I feel like for me, 2023 was the year where I really perfected my brows. Like I found products and a technique that really works for me, that doesn't take me like 20 minutes and is quick and easy. So first, brow pencil. I really love the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. So I'm just gonna go in and spoolie the brows in place, and then I go in with the brow pencil and just draw a baseline underneath my brows like that. And then once I have that baseline down, I jump in with brow gel. My most used was the Makeup by Mario brow gel. I really like this because it holds the brows in place very well, but it does not change the color of them or mess with any of that. Just really holds them in place and is one of the best. So this is definitely my most used brow gel. I'll just go through and kind of fluff up my brows with that. It also definitely helps to add texture to the brows too, which is nice if you have thinner brows like myself. And then my favorite product that I always talk about and always get questions about when I use this is the Tarte DIY Brow Pen. It's a tiny little brow pen that I just go in and draw little flicks with that like mimic natural brow hair to fill in my brows. This is so good and is also super long lasting. Like this will come off when you take your makeup off, like with your makeup remover, but throughout the day does not budge, and is truly like one of my favorite products of all time. Love this. This can also be a little bit more difficult to find. Like sometimes not all the stores have it. They always have it on Tarte's website, and as always, you guys can use code Kelly on Tarte's website for 15% off of everything on their site. So not just this, but when they first brought this out, I think it was like only available on Tarte and QVC. I think now you can get it at some stores, but it can be a little bit more of a difficult product to find. So Tarte's website is probably gonna be your best bet. And yeah, I do have my affiliate code Kelly with Tarte if you guys wanna get anything from them. All right, now moving on to eyeshadow. I think I said this in my 2022 beauty favorites as well, but honestly, 2022 and then continuing on into 2023 were probably the years that I used the least amount of eyeshadow. On an everyday basis, I've been skipping eyeshadow and not doing it. If I'm going out, doing something more fun, you know, not an everyday sort of thing, then I use eyeshadow. So I do have the palettes that I reach for most often, but definitely was a year where I focused a lot more on like complexion products and then also like mascaras and stuff when it came to the eyes. But that's not to say that I didn't use eyeshadow palette. So my most used were definitely the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes. Absolutely love this great eyeshadow palette. It is all matte neutrals, but for me, that's what I go for. So loved that. Used it a ton. Also both of the Patrick Ta palettes. So the original Patrick Ta, this is just the Patrick Ta for eyes, the Major Dimension 1 palette. There's a mix of mattes and shimmers in here. Really, really pretty. Also the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3. This came out later on in 2023, but I love this. I've been using this a ton. Like throughout the holidays when I was doing a lot of looks, I was grabbing for this palette. It is all neutrals and all matte, so it is relatively similar to the Makeup by Mario, but really, really like this. And then also, as always, ColourPop. I love their palettes. They come out with 7 million palettes per year. My OG favorite is the Going Coconuts. I have loved this for like a million years, but also they come out with tons of palettes all the time. So a lot of their new releases throughout the year, I did really enjoy. A lot of them were like limited edition, so they're not available anymore, but they're definitely one of my go-tos as far as eyeshadow palettes go as well. I'm gonna just do like a basic look. I think I'll use the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 and just show you guys like a typical look that I would do with this. So I'm gonna go in with these two shades right here and just pop those in my crease. These are really, really pigmented, but they do blend easily, which is great. What I like about this palette is it is all neutrals, but you do get a nice mix of both warm tones and cool tones, which is good. So you can go ahead and switch it up if you want to. I like to go in with a lighter color all over the eyes just to kind of brighten that. And then I'll go in with the lightest color to highlight underneath the brow bone and the inner corner. And then finishing it off by just smoking out the lower lash line a little bit. And that's kind of like a go-to quick and easy eyeshadow look that I would do with this palette or any of the other ones that I mentioned. Simple, but kind of frames the eyes. And then once we add like lashes, mascara, all that kind of stuff, it'll really come together. All right, for mascara, I'm pretty sure y'all can guess because I sound like a broken record. Milani Anti-Gravity. This is it. This was by far my most used favorite mascara in 2023. It is just truly so stinking good. Like, you cannot go wrong. Now, I do get questions about my lashes all the time of how I grew them out because my lashes are much longer than they used to be. That is the Grande Lash Serum. So highly recommend that as well. I can link that down below too. You just use that at night before you go to sleep on your upper lash line. So that definitely helped to grow my lashes longer, but also this mascara is absolutely fabulous. So stinking good. Not super expensive, and I love it. Also, do want to give mention to the e.l.f. Lash Extender. This just came out, so this is not a 2023 favorite, but it is also really, really good. Came out at the tail end of 2023, so can't include it as like a 2023 favorite, but I have a very good feeling that this is going to be a 2024 favorite. It is a very good mascara and $7, so love that too. For eyeliner, definitely my most used is from ColourPop. This one is in the shade Honeydew. I also always used to use the shade Exit, which is the pure white one. I feel like in 2023, I started to go more for this one, which is a little bit more of like a tan. So it still gives that bright and awake look to the eyes, but it's not like stark white. It's a little more natural. The ColourPop gel liners are really, really good no matter what color. So they come in, you know, black, brown, so many different colors, green, blue, purple, but this one in Honeydew is my most used. And they're very pigmented, even in the waterline, and they don't budge and really will last. So absolutely love these. Alrighty, up next, let's jump into lashes. Now, my most used lashes this year were definitely all of my lash faves from Amazon. This one you can see I have one pair left out of this big pack. Amazon has the best lashes that are super affordable. I really love half lashes, but if you're not into the half lashes, they have full lashes, every single style. So I'm gonna link some of my absolute favorites down below. These ones were a specific favorite of mine. These are the Fan-iction half lashes sets pack. So they can be a little hard to find, so I will just link them for you guys so you can see like the exact ones that I'm talking about, but these were definitely heavily used by me, as well as the Kiss Lash Glue Liner. This is like the best invention. It's a lash glue and a liner all in one. So I just go in with this, draw a little line. It gives me some liner and some lash glue. And then I just go in and pop the lashes on. And is super easy, absolutely love it. Okay, moving right along to finish out the face. My most used bronzer was the Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Bronzer in the shade Medium. This is an interesting one because this is just a matte bronzer. Like normally I would tell you, you don't need to buy like a high-end one, you know, at Sephora, just get something at the drugstore, but this truly is so good. It just sculpts and chisels the face. I also use this a lot as an eyeshadow. When I'm not doing a full eyeshadow look, I'll just go in with my crease and kind of contour out my eyes with it. And it truly is so good. Just blends really well. It never looks like muddy or too much. I just love this stuff. So definitely was my most used to kind of contour and chisel out the face. For blush, you guys can probably guess ColourPop Papaya. This is so pretty. Just gives the prettiest pop of pink to the cheeks. Like I started using this in the summer and I thought like, okay, maybe I'll just like it in the summer. No, I love this winter, all months. Love the pop that it gives. It's just so pretty. It makes me smile and is just the prettiest blush. So definitely my most used. Love, love, love. And you guys can use code Kelly on ColourPop's website. That'll give you 10% off of your whole order. For highlights, I have two faves, so I'll use one on each side. First, we have the Rare Beauty highlight. This is in the shade Mesmerize. This is beyond stunning. It's so blinding and beautiful, but it somehow like doesn't emphasize texture. Like it's super, super glowy, but still looks really flattering on textured skin, which can be hard to find. And I just love this. The shade is perfect. It is so beautiful. Definitely one of my most used. And then also my OG, the Wet n Wild Hello Halo Blush Lighter Duo. You get two different highlights in here. This is like $5. I'll just mix them both together and is also very, very pretty, blinding, and flattering on the skin. So you truly can't go wrong with either. Both so good and my faves. Okay, for liner, my most used is this Peri Para lip liner. You guys can get this on Amazon. The shade is Rosy Nude. It is just so flattering. Like you can wear this with so many different lip colors. It's like a pinky nude color. It's very pigmented and it wears really well. Like it does last well on the lips, which I like. And it's retractable, so you don't have to worry about sharpening it. I absolutely love this, and it's like $7. And it goes on sale a lot on Amazon too, so, so good. For lipstick favorites, I have a couple. So number one is the e.l.f. O Face Satin Lipsticks. These are so good. My personal favorite is in the shade Dirty Talk. This is just perfect, goes really well with that lip liner. It's like a pinky nude and is perfect for every day. It's a satin finish, so it's not drying at all to the lips, but it's not like super glossy. They last really well and they are just so, so good. So I absolutely love this. Also really love the Milani Color Fetish lipsticks. These are matte. My personal favorite is in the shade Pleasure, which looks like that. A little bit more brown than the e.l.f. one, but beautiful. And then last but not least, also absolutely love, if I want something that's like an all-in-one kind of product, like lip color and lip gloss, the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump in the shade Cherry Blossom. It's like this light pinky shade and is so, so pretty. I'll put a little bit over top so you guys can see. It gives like a juicy, glossy look to the lips and some color and a little bit of plump too. So really, really nice. And love that, use that a ton as well. For lip gloss, I think this has been my favorite lip gloss since whenever it came out. Like, it's definitely been years and years and years now. This is the Tarte H2O lip gloss in the shade Sandy Toes. Nothing is better. They really better keep making this because I thought it was like discontinued a couple times, but I'm pretty sure they still have it. And I love this. I need this in my life. It just gives the prettiest gloss and glow to the lips. It's so, so good. This comes in a variety of different colors, but the Sandy Toes is my personal favorite, and this is a lip gloss that I use all the time. So good. And then last but certainly not least, we have setting spray, and the Urban Decay All Nighter is yet again another one of my favorites. Like I said, this has probably been in my favorites for the past couple years in a row. It just sets the makeup flawlessly, doesn't change the way that it looks, but really make sure that your makeup is gonna last. Doesn't have a strong scent or anything to it, is just the best. So this is still my favorite setting spray. All right, you guys, so that is everything. If you're still here, this video is probably gonna be pretty long, but I wanted to make sure that I got through everything for you guys, mentioned everything. Like I said, these will all be linked down below. So check there for the full list. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.